Good morning.
Good good morning. Awesome. Good to see you here, Amanda. Awesome. There we go. Amanda, correct me if I'm wrong. You correct me, actually. Are you in SoCal? You're in SoCal, right? You're in SoCal. We were just up there, actually. Went to a trip to LA, which was nice to go visit Memory Lane out there. And as I was mentioning to the team, it was like a nice little closeout for 18 through 22-year-old version of myself. It's very interesting seeing how inefficient I was navigating life as a young adult. It's like, wow, I was really doing the most. Tell me, how's the camera angle?
Tilt down a little bit, please.
Give me a toe down. What's up, Drew?
There we go.
Hold on, my brother. Fitness. We got a fitness today. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing the endurance workout? What's the endurance workout for tomorrow?
Let's pull it up.
Oh, we got rainy Alabama. Ashley, good morning from Ohio. There we go. Glory Bell's in the house. Good morning. So is it Tana or Tana? I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. Morning.
Oh,
Are we matching?
Are we matching? I don't think so. This is like a blue. No, not really. Not really.
That's gray.
Yeah.
50 toast to bar.
50
Rest.
toast to bar.
Rest 3 minutes. 65 barbell back squat. Rest 3 minutes. 800-meter farmer carry.
What's the okay? Oh, that's tomorrow's. What's
That's the endurance
Saturday's?
focus. That's the Saturday.
That's not endurance focus. Where's the endurance?
That's
Every-
the farmer carry.
Every time you break, no, look, keep
Oh,
reading.
yeah. Every time you break, you must add a 200-meter run to the end of your workout. Ooh.
At the end of the workout.
Yeah, you
So
do
we
it
gotta
all
keep
as one
tallying.
long run at the end.
Wow, that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice.
What time's your runners?
Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. Good to see you guys here today. It's Friday. We're going to keep this episode a little bit on the shorter side because we got a hard stop at 10:30 because we are in the season now.
I have to be there at 10:50.
But you got to be done. Well, we're going to be done at 10:30.
Yeah,
so
I
we can
got
get
to be
ready
there
and
at
stuff.
10:50.
What's the season called that you were saying? I don't know if the mothers and fathers that are watching the show can.
Maycember is what they call it.
Maycember?
Yeah, because you know how like in December your calendar's like crazy because of the holidays, with like holiday parties and work parties and school
Right.
parties and school.
Yeah.
So May, and I was actually talking to Molly about this just yesterday. May is worse.
May is worse.
Worse than December.
Interesting. I would say so too. Now, based off of December for them, it wasn't like anything too crazy.
No,
Yeah.
it's worse.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's not just their stuff, so neither is December, but it's also like you've got your Memorial Day stuff and like
Mm-hmm.
so like all I don't know, there's just way too many parties, way too many like there's a whole Spirit Day thing next week, which is every single day they're supposed to wear something different, but then there's also the like dad and son party, and we had the Mother's Day thing.
That's right.
And then they had their school performance, and then
Mhm.
they have Banner's graduation, and I'm going on a field trip with them today, and just like so much stuff.
It's a lot.
Something every day.
I think I have 2 things that I got to participate in next week. There's 3 technically. There's the Watchdog. Thank you, dads, for Watchdog.
Yeah, there's a thank you thing I'm supposed to go to.
Oh, you too as well?
Mhm.
Oh, shoot. And then there's like the father bring your dad to school day kind of deal,
Mhm.
and where they celebrating, and then donuts afterwards, and then Banner's graduation, and then knock whatever all that stuff is.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Okay, great. Well, yeah, we are in it. We are in it.
See, Blair knows that your shirt's gray. You think that shirt's blue?
No, it's like a. You'll see. Wait till we step out in the sun. And
I'm not saying it's not like a blue gray, but it's definitely a gray shirt.
It's not. It's like a blue gray. So, what would you call this in interior design world?
Like a slate.
Like a slate blue, gray.
It's kind of like the color in the on the walls in Chris's office.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Awesome. So, Salvi, this episode, as you guys saw, we are going. It's slate blue. There we go. I think so too. We're gonna kick it off. It's with a pop quiz. Okay, so we actually have no idea what we're being asked because Kim and Salvi were like, "Hey,
You really haven't seen them?
Salvi, can you jump in here really quick? Can you vouch?"
That
I
is
have
correct.
not seen these questions that are going to be asked.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a Pantone Cool Gray 6. Chris said it's Pantone Cool Gray 6. Okay.
Okay.
So, thank you. So appreciate it, Chris. Thank you so much. All right. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get right into this episode of our
I'm just
pop
like
quizzing.
trying to put the link on my IG. Hold on one second. That we're live.
Oh, you're gonna put it in the. All right. So the first, we're going to go with like NFR questions. Okay. And here's the thing. You guys are more than welcome to ask as well in the comment section for those of you guys watching. If you guys have anything that you want to ask us, but we're going to answer these ones now. Okay. All right. Cottage cheese. Is it in your house or not? At the moment, it's not. But the kids really do like cottage cheese. I like cottage cheese. And actually,
I don't.
didn't you buy some recently?
Maybe, yeah, because I was using it for a recipe, but we've like for the that morning like quiche thing I was making for
That
a
had it.
while. Yeah, but I feel like we've only had cottage cheese in our house like under 10 times ever.
Correct. So it's just not a favorite. However, it's not something that we diss. But I know that there's like a lot of recipes that do have cottage cheese. There's like a bunch of random.
Do you ever? What about just like eating it, but not in a recipe?
Yeah, if I go to like a buffet and there's like fruits and stuff, I'll probably do like a little bit of cottage cheese with like fruits and stuff. I would do cottage cheese over Greek yogurt personally.
Because you just like cheese.
I love cheese. You would go more Greek yogurt over cottage cheese.
Yeah.
I like cottage cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so do the boys. So yes, what what about queso fresco? I have bulk stocked queso fresco from your
El Mexicano.
the Mexicano queso fresco. I have currently one in the fridge and a pack of 2 from Costco in the freezer, and another pack of 2 just when that one runs out.
I would say about 4 times a week I save your queso fresco
because I leave it out.
And there's like the juice all around it and like crumbles all around it.
Yeah. You do save my queso fresco, and I really appreciate that. Uh-huh. Yeah, it is definitely one of my. It's a thing. Either that or some queso panela.
I don't know what that
is. The thing is, they don't sell it in small packs though at Costco. It's like a big round cheese thing.
Why don't you get it somewhere else?
I don't know. It's just another trip. So I've learned about being efficient now, okay? All right? I'm not just going back to my old days where I'm just inefficient, okay? So yeah.
I'm not like a big dairy person in general.
No.
I don't do a lot of cheese and milk and that kind of thing. Not because I have anything against it, but my stomach doesn't do like great with a lot of dairy.
Yeah. That's why when we go get ice cream, you only do like a sample.
Yeah, because I'll do a sample. I would rather have like a baked good than like an ice cream.
But hold on. What's with all this night cereal you've been doing?
Yeah, but it's just like a little tiny bit of milk. It's for the cereal, not the ice cream.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Way more than like the milk that I get within my cereal scoops because I don't drink the milk afterwards or anything.
I see. Okay, well there we go. That's our cottage cheese thing. All right, place or country you haven't visited that you'd like to?
Italy.
Greece.
And Greece. Yeah, I talk about Greece a lot.
And not even for Greece, like touristy Greece, but
Santorini.
Is touristy. Yeah, that sounds cool. But no different than Scotland. I thought it was going to be super, like Edinburgh was super cool. But what we really appreciated was the countryside.
Yeah, but Edinburgh was really cool.
Very cool.
Like the place we stayed and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, within a 1 mile, 2 mile block radius. And then after that, it was like, oh, hello, Edinburgh. You were just
it's a big city. I mean, it's one of the biggest cities.
Yeah, but the countryside, like seeing like the different animals, those cows.
Yeah, the like furry cows.
Super cool.
That was really nice.
And just appreciating what the homes look like out in the countryside.
Yeah, I would say those places. I know my parents went on like that safari, the African safari. Right. That looked really cool.
There's something about I have to overcome a fear of like Australia. Anytime I hear people talk about Australia, I hear like big spiders and snakes. I just feel like,
well, you don't have to go to the outback, like you know.
But that's the countryside, though. Why would I not want to do that? I have to overcome the fear. Maybe I'll just carry like anti-venom with me.
I mean, I can't imagine the cockroaches in some of those apartments you showed me last week were.
But I've already built up an immunity to cockroaches.
No, I know. I've been to Australia several times and I never saw anything that was scary. But I also didn't go in like bush,
What we talked about, especially like zooming out of the map, I thought it'd be really cool to take our family, start at Scotland and rent out one of those buses. Or no, the Sprinter vans. Mm-hmm. And just tour it down. Just start going down. Yeah, Scotland into Europe.
Yeah, I've gone to some cool places in Europe. Scotland, Sweden. Austria, like that whole zone.
Mhm.
But I didn't ever get to go to like Italy, Spain, Greece, like that part of
Is it interesting that I
area.
find that to be more of where I would like to go over like Argentina or Guatemala
What do you
or
think the
Chile?
reason for that is?
I don't know. I have no idea because I know there's a lot of
Argentina's pretty cool. Brazil is
and
really
Brazil.
cool.
Like there's a lot of beautiful places to go to, but somehow I'm
How are
leaning.
you with like Asian countries? Like, because I've been to Korea several times, Japan.
And Chris can chime in on this. I am fascinated by the idea of like Tokyo and some of those places.
You would come home with so many toys.
I would don't get me started on 3D printing right now, okay? Because I would definitely. What is this? Oaxaca, Mexico, Oaxaca. I don't know if I've ever been there, but yeah, I feel for. It's definitely needed. I would say it's in the top 5 places that I would like to go, just to be like.
Do you lean to more toward like Tokyo or more like Seoul or
Like a Tokyo,
Mhm.
and just seeing some of the like mountains out there too. I feel like that'd be super cool.
Mhm.
You know.
Totally.
So yeah, I would say Tokyo. I don't know, Salvi. How's Saipan? Is it worth going to see or what?
Yes, absolutely.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. What's that super? Is it Shanghai? That's like super
That's
wealthy.
in China, right?
Is it?
Yeah, and that's where they have like the Disney and stuff.
Yeah, so something like that. I don't know. I would explore that. But again, my question is why is that fascinating me more? Maybe because I kind of know but not know what to expect from some of the southern countries, Latin American countries.
Yeah, like are you assuming that it's just like an extended Mexico?
I don't think it's an extended Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to some place where I feel like no different than
Like a completely like new culture for you.
yeah, what's that show where they had to go and travel these different areas to go find clues and stuff like that?
Oh, what was that show called? And they were like in pairs.
They were in Paris.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I want
It was like a game show.
I want something like that where
That was
I
my
can't.
life.
Yeah, right. Like
I did that show. I was
like,
on that show for 8 years.
Like if I jump in a vehicle, I don't know if I'm going to get kidnapped or I'm actually going to the right destination.
I remember one time I got in a cab in Korea.
Amazing Race.
Amazing Race. That was a good show. I got in a cab in Korea by myself, and this gentleman did not speak English, and I clearly did not speak Korean. And I just showed him an address, and then you just trust that, you're not going to end up in some sort of labor force or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you have to, it's crazy. I think as a single female, that some of the things that I was doing was a little.
Interesting.
Like,
you know what? I would even want to go to Ethiopia.
Okay. Yeah, I've never been to any of the closest I got to like any of the African countries were when I was in like, Dubai or
I want to go to places that have good culinary.
Okay, well we didn't do that when we went to Scotland.
That was horrible culinary.
Yeah,
it was just not okay.
No flavor up there.
Yeah, so okay.
But then that's why I talk Italy, Spain, like those places.
They're gonna have good culinary.
To like where pizza was invented,
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Anyway,
homeschool. We teach them about food.
Israel. Oh, Israel.
I would love to go to.
Yeah, I would love to go to Israel.
I mean, I was like almost right there, and I just wasn't like a believer at the time, so I didn't realize how close I was to some of those spots when I was in like.
Totally.
Afghanistan or whatever. So.
Yeah, that was a great question. That got us excited for travel.
I had a block for a while. Like I used to have a goal, a dream of mine was to not get on an airplane for a full year. I was just like, oh, that sounds so amazing.
Right.
So it's gotten a little bit better now.
Other than your wife, who would you do the race with?
I would do it with you.
I said other than.
Oh.
It's a great question.
Molly?
2 white girls?
I mean, me and Jen drove across the border so once I had to go to your competition.
So you just okay.
I just feel like, she's so calm. She has such a calming,
That's
vibe
good.
For me.
She would calm you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with some other dude. That's weird.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that.
You said 2 girls.
Yeah. Do you have a more culturally diverse female friend?
Well, so all of a sudden it's going to be safer if she's not blonde?
Well, it's just more of like, hey, how this person? What if you guys go? It's because we're talking Amazing Race here.
Yeah.
You want to have somebody that has the ability to like.
Yeah, but there's physical challenges on this thing.
Yes. Hey, look, if Molly's your friend, that's awesome. Let me think about who my buddy would be on this one.
Yeah, who are you going to
Um,
take? You needed to choose someone organized.
I would take Brian. And
He's
the reason,
white.
but I'm Mexican.
He's not culturally diverse.
I don't need him to be. I need someone that could walk into a hotel and act and take advantage of this nerdy accountant look like that works that oh, this guy means business.
Yeah,
he's like part of the board here, you know.
But I went as a white woman. I went all over the world, and there was
Yeah.
never a problem. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not a problem. Like, maybe you're thinking that it is. I
Yeah.
did it already.
Like we need
Our
somebody.
physical presence is enough. Like our stature, like, you know, helps a lot.
It does. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Next question. Other than Chris asked that question.
Oh,
Nice.
Chris is probably sad that neither one of us chose him.
No, I mean, the thing is, like, I would do different trips with Chris for sure. Like, I would travel south.
Leisurely. I would rather go on like a leisurely.
Yeah,
like,
but if
hey,
you're
we're
talking
going to
about
go see
Amazing
stuff.
Race, that strategy involved, you need the
Chris
diversity
is
in your
injury
team.
prone.
Chris is injury prone.
I'm just kidding.
You know, and all right, here we go. What do we got? What's one skill and dream of learning or a hobby you'd want to try? You don't have to be good at it to make it a hobby. Well, I'm 3D printing. That is my hobby. Actually, speaking of, I brought to show.
I will call that a hobby and
I,
a skill when you learn how to like design stuff yourself.
I will get there. Let me learn
yeah.
how to use the platform. So I 3D printed this last night. I have my 3D printer going off right now. Look at this tiger. Look at that thing. I did not design it. I just took it from the software and I just put the printer together and the color, and I just went print, and that's what came about.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Once I get used to it, I think a good hobby would be I would like to spend some time
Designing stuff.
to design something. Okay. I got a Bamboo Lab, a P1S. How do you feel about my 3D printing? It's okay.
It's TBD. TBD. I'm just letting you learn it right now.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And,
Yeah.
you know, like just breathing and saying, no, the whole house is not going to be piled up in random purple, sparkly tiger toys.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be. Salvi, look, go to Make a World, please. Okay.
Oh, no.
You get to choose what you want. So I got a P1S 3D printer. Salvi. Okay. The 3D printing dragons and eggs are a hit with the kids. They're such a huge hit. So this is
toys are a huge hit with kids.
So
we just
go
already
to
have so many
puzzles and stuff. Go to like school
so
or something.
many.
Like I can print. You tell me what you want. I will print it for you.
I think I might be allergic to plastic.
Go to like toys and games. Why not? Or education. Yeah, education.
You guys are triggering people with these guns right now.
There we go. Look. There's like a lot of things. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Look at all that. When you are into teaching them the science, I can just print the things for you.
Great.
Like, look at that. Test tubes. I can print you the thing for the test tubes. You know, I think we're onto something here, and this is super exciting. Okay.
I also think it's okay if like you're into something way more than I am.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, I don't need you to be into
like
it.
really like a plastic.
I don't need you to be into it.
I'm
really
not really
into
like
it.
a plastic person.
And just wait till Valentine's Day. I am going to print you flowers with all different kinds of colors because I can now. Okay. So that one was recommended for cookie cutter printing. Emily, interesting. That's very interesting. How many 3D printer friends do I have watching the show right now? Please reach out to me and let's get a conversation going on Facebook. Okay. A friend of mine is printing a Sasquatch for my daughter and she loved the SB Sasquatch. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Awesome. What about your hobby? Baking.
I've taken up, yeah.
And gardening.
Mm-hmm. Like just like I like to do stuff with my hands.
Yeah. How's that been?
Like the pottery stuff I was doing with Banner was really cool a couple of years ago.
Oh, so okay. But would you call the gardening a hobby?
Well, that's something I'm already doing. I think the question was like something that we're not currently doing.
Oh.
Put up the question again, Salvi.
What's one skill you dream of learning or a hobby you'd want to try? You don't
Yeah,
have
so I've
to be
already
good at it to
tried
make
it.
it a hobby. Okay, fine. Let me add this to this. I would say welding.
Yeah, that's cool. That's way cooler than 3D printing. It's like sexy, you know, like it's like not like me.
I'm going to get there. I was just waiting for us to be in a place where,
I know.
the kids were older. I would say I want to pick up learning how to weld. So if any of you guys are welders
Some
watching,
like woodworking would be cool too.
woodworking is super cool.
Right,
I
so
want to
now we're
learn like
onto it.
woodworking, welding, also maybe some glass blowing.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I don't know why like that stuff to me. I think it's just like the medium. And what I mean by the medium is plastic itself. There are very few items that I prefer to be plastic than another.
What about
metal,
carbon? What
glass,
about carbon
wood.
fiber?
All of it. It's
Oh, you don't
it's
like that?
synthetic. I don't like synthetic
You don't like
materials.
synthetic.
I don't like plastics. I don't like plastic like cups and stuff like that. I don't like polyester fabric. Like I like real materials
Sure.
in items
Yeah.
as much as possible.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I plan on doing actually.
But I'm okay with it. That you and the boys like it. I'm not
You
trying
know
to
what?
walk
I know
away
this sounds
there.
really random. Would you consider this a hobby like landscaping? Because I've been really enjoying
Sure.
starting to get the tools needed to play around with certain areas and landscaping our yards.
Yeah.
Like I want to
that's
learn.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I have hobbies that I do like you said, like the gardening or the baking, cooking stuff that I've done. I don't know if I can think of something that I've never tried before that I would want to try. I would just like to improve on some of the ones that I have, like the piano.
That's really cool. Yeah. You do that, and I'll start learning how to woodwork.
Great.
Because I can just build you something. I can build you like a.
Oh man, if you like chiseled me something with a knife and like a little piece of wood, I don't know why that's so much different than if you printed it, but it just is for me.
What if I chiseled the print? So like
if you designed the 3D printing thing, that's different. I think when you get to that stage, it'll be
more impressive.
Special, yeah.
Oh, okay, that sounds
more
cool.
than just like hitting the printer button.
Okay, noted. I like that. Welding is fun, but it's expensive hobby.
I'm sure.
Don't buy the stuff if you don't use it. I'm not going to do that. I think there's classes. I want to take classes for it for sure. I definitely want to get,
You've become like way more of a handyman since we've been together.
Big time.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Like getting dirty and you got your, yard work pants and
my Levi's.
Yeah.
That's absolutely
I like
right.
it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That was a great question. What was the last workout that unexpectedly made you? I'll tell you which one. Well,
the vault that's coming up, the team.
Yeah,
was that unexpected for you?
So the last time I actually threw up in a work, I don't remember the last time I threw up. I'm not a thrower upper.
I threw up in my mouth recently. What workout was it? It might have been a vault that we filmed. I can't remember.
The last time I remember actually hovering over a toilet was probably 3 years ago, or it was during that time where, remember Katie Brazil? We were like doing the 50 cal bike test.
Yeah, she like rolled out from under.
I think it might have been during that time where I went so hard because I think I actually had like a sub-minute thing, and I was hovering over the toilet for a bit, but I didn't throw up. The last one that almost made me feel that was the team vault workout coming up.
Team vault workout number 1 for this year's team version.
Yeah, we tested it. We filmed it out in LA with my buddy, and that one.
Oh, I just can't wait for you guys to see it. Salvi was there. He saw it.
Oh my goodness, that one.
Salvi, how would you describe what happened?
Yes.
Julian died. And that's all I will say. I have never seen him struggle so much.
Oh wow, never.
It's been a while.
That was really hard. Okay.
It's because he was like, back in it with his buddy. Well, and earlier in the day, because we had like missed our flight, we spent like 2 hours watching old regionals workouts.
We were watching old regionals workouts.
And so I think we were like fired up from it, so we just went for it. You did that first set unbroken, and then it was all downhill from there.
How many of you guys watching right now remember the 2014, 2015 regionals time, because we took a deep dive and watched all those videos again. I feel like
It was
those
good
really
times.
were the glory days.
Mm-hmm.
I really do believe that, where the community felt at its most united, because people were, you just see the sea of, even if Invictus, for example, the sea of green, or there was like a bunch of, from Brick CrossFit, a bunch of people in orange, Valley Cross, bunch of people.
People
and
were really.
Your NorCal people. I remember the white shirts with the blue.
Mhm.
I remember the NorCal people that
Mhm.
just packing the stands
Mhm.
out there. Every community just showed, every gym community really just showed up.
Mhm.
That was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know the last workout that did that to me. I that kind of thing happens to me a lot, so it's like normal, but also I don't know. Well, I can't.
I don't
I know
remember
there
the one.
have been some, but I just can't. I'm like really bad at remembering a
I
workout.
feel like you're always out loud saying, "I'm gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up," but you never actually do.
I mean, I don't anymore.
Right.
But I did throw up in my mouth recently, like within the last month.
Yeah, because you got food poisoning.
No, I think it was a different time than that. During a workout. So
Oh, during the
right
workout.
after the workout. Like there was a tip filmed and everything. It might have been that 30 rounder that just was the vault like recently that we
Shoot.
did. It might have been that one.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. So do workouts ever get into your head ahead of time? When was the last time and what was it?
Every single one of the endurance workouts.
Interesting. Like those really get to you, huh?
I just really don't like it. Mm-hmm.
Anytime I have to shoot a vault premiere, depending on who I'm shooting it with, like if I'm shooting it with you,
What about that one? It hasn't came out yet, so don't say what it was. What about that one that's coming up that you did with Chelsea recently?
it's exactly what I'm talking about. It's anything I have to, when Chelsea rolls up to the gym, or when Carlene rolls up to the gym, or when I don't know what it is about you guys rolling up.
It's just that you're intimidated by the fit female coaches.
It's just, I just know what
Carlene's the worst.
What you guys are like demanding, and I'm like, gosh dang it, it brings out this inner competitive person, and I know it's like, man, I can't coast through this because you just feed off the energy, and you're like, gosh dang it. So I would say, surprisingly, the vault workout, I didn't think that the team one until I got wrecked. But yeah, the one that I shot with Chelsea recently, I was super nervous going into that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I stayed. I was like, you were drawing me in with your like the drama of the nervousness. I was like, I got to stay and watch this.
You know, any workout that I know is going to be sub 7 minutes is what will make me go into that. I'm scared and I'm really nervous because it's uncomfortable.
There's a couple of the endurance sessions. There's probably been one so far. I don't remember. Again, my memory for this stuff is really bad. But anytime it's got the sprints in there, the 100 meter or 200 meter, like very hard or all out or whatever, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It was really hard this week. It was really hard to go from the 400 and then keep moving in the 600.
Right.
For me, instead of like, because usually after a hard run, that's when you'll rest.
Mm-hmm.
But to be forced to go into the running ones really get me. It used to be like, I'm not kidding. I've said it so many times. I used to like cry on the way to the track. Don't even get me started on the emotional drama that it would be if I was driving to go swim in the ocean in Santa Cruz.
Yeah, forget that. Yeah, no way. No way.
But yeah, recently, any of the vault workouts, like I knew, and I was nervous about the one that we tested or that we filmed in LA, the team one. I go way harder in team workouts than individually, way harder.
True, huh?
I mean, you probably like experienced that, which is why you got wrecked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Grab those 35-pound dumbbells, you know?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right, hot take. What do you think the most underrated movement is?
Air squats. Not in our community, because I program them all the time.
Yeah, totally.
But like in the fitness, like other programs, I think people probably don't program them as much as we do for how potent they are. You can do it anywhere. It's like such functional movement, it's great.
Just an air squat?
Air squats, because they're saying underrated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just an air squat. Yeah. I remember before I found CrossFit, the gym culture, who knows what it is now, but it was like you hated leg day. You just avoided it at all costs. So there was no air squatting, barely any squatting, if I'm being completely honest.
What about like, would you do like leg extensions and leg curls and like leg presses and stuff? Or you just
Yeah,
skipped it
totally. Like
altogether?
isolation stuff. I would do that.
Okay.
But air squats, no. I wouldn't.
No. I don't think people outside of the CrossFit community, besides now that if they're doing like, Peloton's HIIT classes or whatever,
Sure.
you'll see those, but they're like very typically not full range of motion, these little half squats. I'm talking about a hip crease below the knee, stand all the way up, Tabata squat as fast as you can. That is highly underrated. And I agree with Kim, inverted rows. I've talked to Boz about this so many times. Other communities don't do it. I even think that there are people in our community, because they can do pull-ups, that they never do them. That's a huge mistake for people to skip the inverted rows.
They're really challenging.
They're just really good for your pulling, because if you're only ever pulling in this plane, that's like all lat, and you're not getting as much of the mid back.
Totally. Well, something, yeah. I mean, that's something that throughout this whole journey, I've learned to appreciate more and more, especially when working with the high school kids that have no ability to even do one strict pull up. It's like, we got to get you just pulling. So I'll put them in the inverted row, and work the way, essentially like working them from that angle, then to working to the pull up, and
I agree with Blair too on like a med ball clean. The only reason that we don't program those more often, and we should, is just because people are they do them so poorly. Like they just pick up the ball and squat with it, and they don't actually like, shrug and pull under and all that stuff. So, but yeah, medicine ball cleans are awesome.
So you would say anything that, okay. Yeah. So it sounds like just body weight movements, and they're just the most underrated from a lot of the top picks.
Well, yeah, because and specifically that they're underrated, because people look at a body weight movement and they think, oh, well, this is better if it's loaded. This is like, I'm doing a better workout if I've got dumbbells in my hands, or if I've got a barbell, or if I've got whatever. All of a sudden in their mind, they think it's better. So it's not that there isn't benefit to all of it, but when you're using specifically underrated, I think a lot of body weight movements are underrated.
They're underrated.
I think push-ups are underrated.
Big time.
Straight up push-ups.
Just yeah, of course.
What do you think? Remember that podcast, little funny thing I sent you yesterday about the walking?
Yeah, that was funny.
That's really funny.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, Turkish get-ups is underrated for me personally, because I know how good they are. I just choose to avoid them, and I rate them down low. I would agree with you.
I think wall walks used to be underrated in our space, and they've made a huge
impact.
They've made a huge comeback. But I used to underrate them. I used to feel like that's like a warm-up thing. Like, why would you?
I used to underrate a lot of movements. I used to underrate like farmer carries. Any kind of carry. I used to underrate that. I used to underrate sled walks.
Oh yeah.
I underrated big time sled walking until we started bringing on the programs, and I started incorporating those more. And now, just how valuable sled walking has become.
Totally.
Yeah. Would you agree that sled walking is an underrated movement? Yeah.
I don't know if I would call it underrated, but it's underutilized. I think people know that it's good, but because of the lack of space or whatever, they're just not able. A lot of people aren't able to do it.
Right.
To gain the benefits of it.
What about overrated? That's a good question.
Handstand push-ups.
Handstand push-ups?
Yeah. Not a handstand hold. I think that there's huge benefit. The handstand push-ups.
But the push-up.
People adding handstand push-ups in as often as they do is like a party trick more than it is a fitness.
So you would then, okay, a handstand push-up overrated. You would say a handstand hold, or just do a strict press at that point.
Right.
That would be okay,
right.
But not.
I think handstand stuff as skill, but like when you throw it into a workout that's for time, because your feet are up against the wall, and so you're not practicing balance. Right. Or like core, like you've seen the body positions that people get into with these. So it's just you're just pressing at that point, which is like, and that, okay. So if we're just testing pressing, then bring it all the way to your shoulders with dumbbells or a barbell or something, or kettlebells.
Interesting.
But I do think there's a huge benefit in handstand stuff as far as like being able to like balance yourself and know where your body is in space. But that goes out the window with handstand push-ups where people are just throwing their body against the wall. And now it's just, you're just pressing.
Would you overrate GHD sit-ups?
I would not. I think a lot of GHD movements are underrated, but I sit-ups would be low on the list. GHD sit-ups would be super low on the list as far as valuable movements to do on the GHD.
Valuable movements to do on the GHD. Okay. Did someone just say burpees? No, those are not overrated. I love burpees.
It's very functional.
It's super functional. Hey, talk about prison fit, burpees, squats, and push-ups.
I wouldn't say they're underrated though, because people do them a lot.
What are?
Burpees, they're not underrated.
They're not underrated, no.
No, because they're very common.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Let me see here. What about what's over? Oh, I was like reading up on the comment section there. You're just okay. So you're just starting out with your fitness. What is the one thing you'd go back and tell yourself? Why would you laugh at me? What?
I'm not laughing at you.
I feel like you're. What are you thinking about?
I'm not thinking about you at all.
Oh, okay, good. What would you tell yourself?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about, because I actually did have like a starting place for fitness because I didn't play sports.
Okay.
So for you, like, what would you consider your starting fitness? Because you were like involved in it your whole life.
I was always an athlete. I don't.
I would tell myself to go for a run. Hey, before you do all this other stuff, maybe just like go for a jog every once in a while, because that's going to cause you problems later down the road.
I would say, because even like, okay, I would say focus more on midline work, more gymnastic holds.
Yes.
Holds, because
also underrated, like top of the rings hold.
Well, just yesterday, what I did the other day was just the overhead kettlebell hold.
Over the bar hold.
Yeah, do more holds.
You got to develop that like foundation. Yes,
because I think for me, I embraced all other movements except Turkish get-ups. And so more holds, because I got away with so much ugly movement because I was so strong.
I wouldn't say your movement was ugly. You just overarched whenever you put a weight
That's
over
what I
your
mean.
head.
I overarched in my midline, which led to, my lower back injury. And thank goodness I stopped when I did. But yeah, I would incorporate that stuff more. Just allow myself to slow down and utilizing that in some like 10, 15 minute like EMOMs skill work, and not overcomplicating it. Just learning what I know now to then. Of huge value.
Yeah, I think a lot of what I would tell myself back then is what we have learned like along the way, like about the concepts of simple, not easy, like intensity, learning intensity a little bit sooner in my fitness journey. But yeah, I don't think that I've ever had like a really bad relationship with workouts where I was punishing myself with it or anything like that. I've always like had fun with it.
Yeah, I would say the better question to ask if you're just starting off with your health.
Oh yeah.
Like your nutrition for me. I would say there's more that I could talk to the younger version of myself around nutrition than it would be around fitness. Because fitness for me, I've always was consistent with it. It was something that I took on, embraced. I mean, yeah, like I could have told myself, hey, work on this more. But the mindset around fitness has always been something that's helped me actually navigate through so much of life. So, but the nutrition side of things, that's where unlocking that same mindset and applying it to that was where I needed a lot of help. Yeah. Consistency is better than perfection. Yeah. How many days of intensity are you doing personally? Okay. How many days of intensity are you doing personally? What would you recommend for non-competitive but consistent 46-day-a-week people?
Yeah, I think we kind of addressed that when I was like saying that I was going to do all 6 days of our programming. And if you've been paying attention to the programming this past month, ever since we started endurance, kind of what you're seeing on Tuesdays and Thursdays really allows for you to have a break in what you would normally consider like intensity. So right now, the vaults have been intense. Now that intensity varies, like Murph was really long, so it never felt like I was like going to black out, but it was just long. So or whatever so I've been going Monday vault, Wednesday the endurance hitting intensity, and then maybe one other day, a Friday or a Saturday, like pushing the intensity. And then the other days, like yesterday's was so great. Caitlin and I did the move for 20 to 24 minutes, and we were just like chatting during it. I didn't go super heavy, just did the movements. But I have stuck to doing all 6 days. I think this is week like 3 or 4, maybe 4 of me doing that. How many days a week do you feel like you're hitting? And it depends. Like I know we filmed that workout last Friday.
That was
and
intensity.
then Saturday you kind of went intensity as well. And then Monday we did Murph. So that was like 3 days in a row, where normally you wouldn't go that hard 3 days.
Well, the question I have is, okay, it was Saturday. Was Saturday really intensity though? Because Friday, I consider that to be intensity, where I was like,
a workout doesn't have to be short to be intense.
It wasn't short though. That was like 15 minutes.
I know, but what I'm saying is, well, I don't know. Only you would know. If
That's
you
what I'm
hit
saying. Like to
intensity on
me,
Saturday.
that put me at a level of
You told me
intensity
you
that I
tried to do
haven't.
almost 30 toes to bar unbroken.
Yeah, but that didn't feel intense to me though. There was never like, so for example, Friday's workout put me at a place where, because the intensity was so high, constantly breaking up. I was like, because if I would have kept pushing past that, then I would have got sloppy, ugly, risking injury, but my intensity was high. My heart rate was just up there, elevated constantly, I hadn't pushed that level of intensity in a long time.
Well, you could have intensity in a 2-hour long workout.
Right.
If you're going as hard as you can the whole time for that duration. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be short bursts for it to be intense. Like you don't have to feel like you're going to throw up for it to be like intensity.
Yeah. And so that's where like,
it's like, are you hitting the workout as hard as you can? And if the workout's 20 minutes, that feels different than a 5-minute workout.
Then then it goes back to what I was saying. That Friday, I actually hit the workout as hard as I could, because Saturday I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I'm always reserving. I'm in a season right now where I'm reserving intensity, because I know I could always push, but there's like a mental block. I'm not willing to go there right now. So,
but someday, I mean, you would still. I don't think she's saying like 100% all out. But like, how many days?
But even 90%.
How many days a week are you holding back? Like what Caitlin and I were doing yesterday. That's not what you were doing on Saturday. We were chatting. I was taking water breaks. We were like,
I would consider.
Sometimes when Gabe comes over, you're just like, I'm just going to ride the bike, or we're just going to do some bike and bench, and you're like chatting in between and stuff, versus I'm going for it in a workout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I'm going for it. And the reason I'll pull from another example. Me and Chelsea working out, I went for it. Like that was intensity. I never felt like I was going to get sloppy, but that was intensity for me. I didn't hold back at that point. Or when you and I did the vault, that 30 rounder, that was intensity.
I guess what I'm trying to say is you don't have to like, I'm trying to help them.
Totally.
By like saying I think that what the question is asking is how many times a week are you hitting intensity, not max intensity, not Chelsea intensity and vault intensity, but versus I'm doing the workout, but I'm intentionally moving slow.
I'm doing the workout, but intentionally moving slow. Yeah, then I would say if that's how I'm answering it.
Because the way that you're answering right now, the way that it's coming across is that you hit intensity like 2-3 times a month. But that's like 100%. I'm really going for it intensity. Sure, her question is like throughout a 4 to 6 day. Like, are you going? Yeah, I go pretty hard on the vault on Monday. I go pretty hard on the endurance.
Sure. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
So then if that's the approach, then yes, I'm going pretty hard. I would say 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week. I'm going to go pretty hard, and not max intensity, but I'm going to tackle this with, hard effort.
Yeah. And then I think on top of that, what you're saying with theirs is like a couple times a month when we're filming vault workouts or whatever, that you'll really even go past that.
Yeah.
But this was saying like in an average week, if you were to say, I'm going to work out all 6 days, how many of those 6 days are you going harder than other days?
Yeah. I would say.
Mine's like 3.
Yes. I would say I'm pushing more to like 4 days a week where I'm going hard.
Okay.
I
just didn't want the people to hear that you're only going hard like twice a month.
That is. Yeah. And I think you understand what I'm saying. Yes.
I do. That's why I was trying to make it clear for them.
Yeah. So this is a Christian question, so she really wants to know for herself. This is a Christine question, so she really wants to know for herself. Yeah, okay. Right,
and
Salvi,
I think Christine knows what you mean too.
Yeah, you think she knows?
I would think so.
Yeah. Salvi, jump in real quick. Would you consider what we did on Wednesday intensity.
Was
EMOM.
that the EMOM?
Yeah.
No.
No,
No.
that's not what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're just getting a good sweat in, heart rate up, working on some skills, moving
How many
well.
times would you say given what we're talking about here, how would you answer that question?
Three.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Feels balanced. Like I feel like I
Yes.
need time for my body to just move sometimes.
Totally.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, Kim said this is a Christine question, so she really wants to know for herself. Yeah, we're both on the 3 to 4 time a week
Mhm.
where we hit it we go intensity, and then the other days we kind of definitely just approach it more.
Yeah, like a workout can still be hard, but you're intentionally lowering it. For example, like when I've done some of the sandbag carries instead of a bike or a run, it's still hard and actually makes the workout longer, and I'm still sweaty and my heart rate's still up, but it's not like the same as if I was running a 400-meter run.
That's correct.
And so I choose the sandbag on purpose to like still get a lot of work in without pushing my nervous system to the intensity.
Yeah, because then it goes back to what we were talking about the other day. I feel very confident that if I were to jump into any local CrossFit competition, that I'd be able to perform well because of how I tackle my fitness on a daily basis, which is 3 to 4 days of going hard. And then the other days, I'm just like, cool, I'm just going to get a mover in. I'm going to hit a good run. And yeah. And we've been maintaining that for a long time now at this point.
Yeah.
We've been maintaining that. Cool. I hope that answered that. All right. Has your definition of being fit evolved since starting street parking? Has your definition of being fit and evolved since starting street parking?
I mean, I'm always going to like, for me, I'm just in the religion of fitness has a definition.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's your work capacity across broad time modal domains. Like how I view it in my own life might be a little bit different.
Maybe
I was already out of competing when we started.
So maybe what we maybe the best way to kind of answer this is understanding that there's a definition around fitness. We've accepted more that we're not as fit as we have been, but we're also consistent with our fitness that will maintain. It won't decline as quickly over time.
Which is the definition of health.
Yeah, so I feel like we've embraced a more healthier mindset around it.
Well, I think for me, it's solidified that definition of fitness that Greg Glassman coined is accurate.
100%.
It's like just strengthened it for me because of the different stages of life and different like things that we need to do on a daily basis or want to go do, or things that are required of us. And I think it's only strengthened it. I think now, if you're assuming that I'll just speak for myself, how I defined fitness before was, I mean, you could, I guess, technically define fitness by looking at games athletes and stuff, because you're not talking about health, you're talking about fitness.
That's correct.
And they are at the peak level of work capacity across broad time and modal domains for this slice of their life.
Right.
If you add the over time, which is the addition to that definition for the definition of health, then I think, yes, it's only been strengthened through doing street parking and simplified for what's needed to maintain that.
Simplified what's needed to maintain that. Yes. We were just talking about how we're so grateful that we were able to both kind of, I mean, do you feel like you have long-term injuries effects from, what you're competing?
A few, but because of the injuries that I've had, how I feel, okay, this is what I'll say. I have had some major injuries. I broke my neck and I tore my ACL. So are there things that are impacted by that? Sometimes. However, I know that if I wasn't still as active as I am, that the issues that I would have with my neck and my knee would be worse. Because it's oftentimes when people stop moving and they stop, being, chasing fitness or being active or whatever, that those injuries compound, and they compound. As if my if my legs were weak, my knee would give me more issues than it does now. Or if my upper back and my shoulders were weak, then I'd probably have more issues with my neck. Right. So strengthening the tissue around it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've had some, but it doesn't impact me. Like it doesn't really stop me from doing anything that I want to do.
Right.
Other than like, I get a little nervous, like if we talk about going skiing and stuff like that with my knee.
You do get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's how I guess it's not really an evolution.
Has
It's been more.
yours, because you were still heavy into competing and you hadn't had any injuries? Because my definition of fitness and health like was shaped by the seminars, but then I had already gone through a couple injuries when we started street parking. I was pregnant when we started street parking, but you hadn't had to go through a phase of like, you were still, when we started street parking, dude that had hours upon hours to work out. You were still in your 20s, like everything. So since you've started street parking, has your thoughts around it changed?
Yeah, I would say that I can recognize that there was a huge deficit in my health because it was being compromised by my hyper focus around fitness.
So you were of the mindset that you can out exercise a bad diet? It doesn't matter what you eat as long as you like do a lot of workouts.
I don't think I put even that much thought into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I ate what I ate. And
I mean, you tried to get enough protein. You guys were so weird with the weighing of the bowls, but like the weighing.
Yeah,
so
I just don't think I even went there. I was like, I just got to be more fit. I didn't to bring in nutrition element to that.
You didn't attach it together.
I just didn't attach it together because I was just I didn't slow down enough to think about that. It was just I'm fit and I'm going to try to stay as fit as I can, and not really putting much thought into. And it wasn't
like
until
you weren't thinking about sleep and all that stuff.
Let's just put it this way. When I qualified for the 2015 games and I was sitting back there trying to recover after Murph, and I'm over there trying to eat some food that my brother was trying to give me, which was like rice and stuff, and I just could not consume it. But then I see athletes like the Ben Smiths of the world or some of the more seasons were eating like a lot of fruits. And I'm like, why are they doing that? Not recognizing that they were going for that quick digestible, source of energy for them, or I just could not. It was just something that was non-existent for me.
What I mean, like what about Becca and Chris? They never talked to you about this?
No.
Did they know about it? I feel like they knew about it.
I think that they had I would hope that they had more of awareness around it, but it wasn't such a thing that was spoken of at all. And so I would say now the evolution has been, there's been an understanding of the whole picture, not just fitness. It's like health and fitness.
Yeah.
It's health and fitness.
Lifestyle.
The lifestyle has been something that's evolved. Not just working out.
I think a lot of people have that. They're like, oh, we see that a lot. I mean, I remember when we used to go do the meal prep and we'd drop them off at the gyms and stuff like that. And like people were so consistent with their workouts, but you can just like their food was just so, they weren't thinking about the food, and people enjoyed the workouts, but they didn't want to have to like change anything about their diet. And yeah.
And even for me too, recognizing what fitness is, right? So mowing an hour of mowing the grass on a day where I've had a couple of days of intensity. So instead of thinking that I need to go on a Concept 2 erg for 20, 30 minutes and just go at a steady state, that it has to look like exercise. It's now just really embracing and trying to help others see that, no, you could literally go out and mow your grass for an hour and that is your fitness for the day.
Well, I think some people even get into the mindset where if they were going to do yard work or mow their grass or whatever, that they would get frustrated that it was going to make their workout less. Like, this is going to impact my workout later because I'm going to be more tired. It's like,
right.
So, aren't you exercising just to be healthy? Like, is it all going into the same pot?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it is recognizing that you could just throw on a weighted vest or a ruck and go out on a walk on our trail for like a mile or two. So it doesn't seem like it's a major inconvenience and you're just going participating in life with your kiddos and stuff. Like, hey, this is my fitness for the day, which is super cool. So yeah, it has evolved a lot actually.
Should we do one more?
Last question before we have to. Miranda's got to leave. All right, someone is starting street parking but has fitness experience. What's one thing you'd want them to know?
Consistency and intensity is more important than volume.
Consistency and intensity is more important than volume. 100%. I was just having a conversation with Kim about this the other day. And you and I talk about this all the time, where I just wish that people understood how potent the daily workout is executed with going back to the relative intensity, going hard 3 to 4 days a week, right? How much time you're going to be saving, how much more efficient you're going to be. And then but I just don't think people hold on to that belief long enough for them to open their eyes around how valuable that is.
Yeah, if you're not seeing results from the daily workouts, there's one of three things that's happening. One, there's a lack of patience. You want it to happen faster, so you think if you do more, then it'll happen faster. So there's a lack of patience and just like, hey, I'm just going to put my head down and go for it. So if you're not seeing results, one potential reason is there's a lack of patience. The other potential reason is there's a lack of intensity. So you're doing them, you've been doing them for a while, but you just never, you're not 3 times a week choosing some and really like going for it. Or there's, again, going back to what we were just talking about, there's something going on in other lifestyle factors.
Totally.
Like your recovery, your nutrition, all of that it's not I need more workout issue. It's I need to clean up my nutrition issue. I need to drink less issue. I need to sleep more issue. I need to, put less sugary stuff in my coffees. Like something's going on outside, but you're trying to overcompensate by it and think, well, if I just need to work out more, I need to do more. I need to, run 5K a day or whatever. And it's, is that a thing? I think you told me that was a thing somewhere.
Yeah, it is a thing.
Or I need to go full David Goggins, and it's like, or you could just take a look at something outside of the gym. But again, there's a lot of people that don't want to do that.
And they don't. And I think that's where like we're very limited, and we can try to say this over and over and over and over until the person experiences that on their own, they'll say like, oh, I get what they're talking about. Because oftentimes, like, man, if these people only saw, even if they got to experience a week on how we approach fitness, and hey, let's be involved in this for a week, just so you guys can see how we tackle this, this and how we approach fitness. And yes, this is it. And then we move on. That's not to say you can't do a little bit of fun accessory work if you feel like doing some cashing out with some 30 pull-ups or something, or you want to do a 5x5 before, but the daily, that's because like, if you can move efficiently through it, but is it necessary? No, your daily workout will definitely, because that's all we've been doing for so long at this point.
Yeah, it's tough because like people will have these like goals of aesthetics or something like that, and they'll look at even people like us where you have to process that I'm 42. I started working out regularly when I was 20, so you're looking at 22 years of consistency.
That's right.
And so and I did, you don't have so a lot of times people will see the journey from like postpartum to now. Well, that's just me kind of going back to a homeostasis. But like, if I had better documentation of what I looked like from 17 to 27, it was a very long period of time of like my body transforming. You know what I mean?
Totally.
We don't have that documentation. And so I think people just don't understand that like most of the people that you're trying to achieve their aesthetic, before they even started their program or before they even started being on Instagram, there was probably a decade of transformation that happened before all of that. And it's a lack of patience a lot of times for people, or consistency, because you got to be consistent over a long period of time for your body to kind of like hit a homeostasis reset of what your normal is.
Totally.
And people usually like, even if they're on and they're like, oh, I was super active for like 2 years and then I was like off for like 2 years. You got to keep it moving for like years and years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I know you got to get wrapping up soon.
Yeah. I got to go on a field trip.
There we go.
We're going on a hike, which I think is just a walk around the park.
That's nice. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's cute. Cool.
Should I be like that mom? Should I take like a ruck, like a 30-pound ruck and like a goo pack and like,
You could, if you wanted to.
No, I don't want to.
Just take the regular looking backpack,
Just like sweating.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I could chat for a little bit longer, but
Okay, I gotta go.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Love you.
I love you.
You can give me a base, that's fine.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway, Kim, I know I'll wrap this up with some. Do we have community announcements? First of all, I actually have some before we wrap this up here today. So that way I can get moving on this as well. What's going on? Just the photo. Okay. Here we go. First things first. We have 2 street parkers. We have Coach Carlene, one of our longtime members, also Gina Speed, and they're participating in the Big Fish. Salvi, you can jump in here and join me on this. Same thing, Kim. Kim, if you are ready for your day to day, and when I say this, I'm just trying to be conservative. Like, I don't know, maybe some days Miranda just doesn't get herself ready, and then I'm like, hey, do you want to do this real quick? She's like, I don't want to be on camera. Kim, you're more than welcome. We can send you a link and give some community updates, especially with the updated app. So if you're listening, Kim, we're more than welcome to sending you a link if you want to chime in on some of this combo for the next 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So the Big Fish Foundation, right? Salvi, can we pull that up real quick?
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago, I participated in this, and it was like a 30-hour event. And it was just the street park community definitely showed up there with, I think we ended up donating like over. You want your tiger? There you go. Beso, please.
Thank you.
Beso. Over 25K. The community really rallied together around that. So the Big Fish here, empowering veterans to thrive. Okay. This is their 6th annual fundraiser. Carlene has been involved in this for multiple years now, which is super cool. We have our member that got invited to do that. And it's like a small, intimate group. I think it's like 6 or 7 vets and 6 or 7 athletes. And you're out there grinding together for 30 hours, and throughout the course of this, we're just, accepting donations and stuff, cheer on your, favorite athlete out there. You got Nicole Carroll that is out there as well. You got Tosh, who, has put this foundation together, which is great. Okay. This will be an incoming newsletter so everyone can support Gina. Thank you. So Kim will be sending out a newsletter to Gina and to the community. So if you guys want to support Gina and Carlene, that'd be awesome. Okay. I'll definitely be donating this year as we always do moving forward. Consistency is better than perfection. What else do we got? So yes, make sure we did do V2 of the app. Make sure that you guys are updating your app by doing the update in the app store, whatever you want to do that. And if it's still not working for you, something that you could do is also once you do that, delete the app and then reinstall it. And that'll hopefully fix all your issues. Okay. Thank you, the App Store. That should be fixing that. Okay. Because I know I had an issue where I thought I did the update and then I didn't delete and reinstall the app, and it was not working for me still. So please make sure you guys do that. Or if you see anybody on the Facebook page having issues with it, you guys, they can tag support, or maybe some of you guys can give them these basic responses, which is delete the app and reinstall it. Okay. The Blair, thank you. Appreciate that. The app looks incredible and he loves the updates. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. Love that. Love that. Before I log off, is there any 3D printer hobbyists watching right now? Because I could use all the tips and tricks for that for a beginner, because I definitely find myself getting a little bit overwhelmed with all of this.
Show them your Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah. So let me show them. I'll show you guys also what else I printed out here really quick. Let me see here. Let me see. I printed out. Here we go. There we go. I printed this out overnight. It's like a red Spider-Man looking thing for Knox, and he was so excited because he took it to school today for show and tell.
Super cool.
I know, it's super cool. What else, Sabi? Do you have anything else before we finish this episode off?
All good.
All set? Cool.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
for all of you guys watching, we'll check in with you guys next week. No episode next week because I think we have, let me confirm. I think we have a lot of kids' graduation stuff. Okay. So there will be no episode next week. We're going to be winding down all of that. Okay. Hold on. Where do you get your downloads for your 3D printer? From Sue. Right now, I'm getting pull up the store,
Maker World.
Maker World. So right now, what I've been told to do, and I know there's many other ones, I go to Maker World, which is what Bamboo pushes. And so you can go and see like all the top trending things, all the new designs. You can go search for all these things, and then you can just from there upload the file to your 3D printer. I'm still struggling with connecting the wireless feature. So I've had to connect it by using this LAN mode, you know? Should I go show them what I'm printing real quick?
Yeah. Hopefully we don't lose Wi-Fi.
I don't think we'll lose it. Hold on. I'll show you guys what I'm printing right now. So banner, I'll show you guys the little setup that I have. So you guys are plugged in. All right, you're coming along with me on a tour, okay? You guys get to see my 3D printing farm. Not really. Hold on. Please hold. I'll show you guys. You eating bacon, Crewy? Okay, hold on. Learn to CAD. Nelson, when you coming up again, Nelson, because I'm gonna need your help. We got to figure something out. Okay. Hold on. Show you guys this. Oh, look at this thing firing off. Look at that thing. Oh yeah. Look at that thing. Something's being printed. I didn't realize how big that thing was gonna be. What the heck? It's like a freaking
What
piggy
is
bank.
it?
It's like a little it's like a little kitty cat with a dino hoodie. That's what he wanted. Yeah, but it's like a cool setup, right? You know, you get all your little filaments in there and it's doing its work. You know? All right, Nelson, we'll talk about it. All right, I'll finish up for today. Thank you guys for tuning into this episode this week.
Thank you guys.
See you guys later.